stick swing. Additional aids like zoom and an aiming arc make this an easy and fun way to play. There are 3 different ways to play the game. Each offers a unique swing mechanic and supporting settings. The classic style uses a 3-click swing mechanic. While it has aids like zoom and an aiming arc, it also has realistic features like gusting winds and more difficult ball lies. There are 3 different ways to play the game. Each offers a unique swing mechanic and supporting settings. The Tour style uses an advanced analog swing that emphasizes both the backswing and the follow-through. When you pull down on the swing stick, the golfer's animation will begin. From here, your speed on the swing stick will factor into your shot distance. You must swing fast on longer shots and softer on shorter shots. A readout of your backswing and follow-through will appear after you hit your shot. The path on the swing stick will change as you try to curve shots left and right. To curve the ball left, your backswing is down and to the left. Your follow-through is up and to the right. To curve the ball right, your backswing is down and to the right. Your follow-through is up and to the left. The Tour style shortens your swing animation as you aim for shorter shots. However, it becomes easier to overswing and get unwanted distance. This forces you to have more touch on shorter shots. If you don't follow through when the meter gets full, you will end up overshooting your target. With the short distance, a slower follow-through is required to get the perfect amount of power. Now that you know how to play and your training is complete, you can keep this style, practice some more, or choose a different style. Now that you know how to play and your training is complete, you can keep this style. Practice. So many historic moments have played out before our eyes in major championships, and today, two of the top players in the world are set to tee off. Rory McIlroy holding a one-shot lead over Martin Keimer. It's the final round of the U.S. Open Championship at Chambers Bay.
Going into the final round of any golf tournament with a chance to win, especially a major championship, it's a huge buzz. That's the only way I can describe it. It's the best feeling a golfer can have because you're in the mix and you're in with a chance to win one of the biggest tournaments in the world. It's an incredible feeling. It's something that you may only get to experience a handful of times in your life. So, that atmosphere, you want to soak it in as much as you can and really enjoy it.
Rory McIlroy coming off a strong performance yesterday, now making his way to that first tee box and looking to add another major championship trophy to his already growing collection.
And Rich, there's no doubt both golfers will be nervous until they get that very first tee shot under their belt.
The first tee shot is probably the most difficult because you've been thinking about that shot since the night before. Once you get that first shot out of the way, you calm down, you're a little more settled, you're not quite as anxious or nervous, and you sort of get into the rhythm of the round. You want to get off to the best start possible, and obviously that starts with that first tee shot.
Well, here he is, Rory McIlroy, a past U.S. Open champion, about to tee off on what should be an historic day of golf alongside the beautiful Puget Sound. And he's underway. Frank, it looks like a good one.
Yeah, it looked like a free-flowing swing, that's for sure. It certainly betrayed the nervous feeling that we thought he might be feeling on the first tee. And a huge tee shot.
Well, you've been there, Frank. Nerves are good on the first tee, even for great players.
If you can control them.
Frank, tricky little shot from 145 from McIlroy.
You'd imagine with a little bit of nervous energy. Probably only a wedge, though, for Rory. Just something in between the flag and the bunkers on the right. Use the terrain of the green. This looks like it's going to find the target.
Looks to be a good one, Frank.
Oh, nestles inside 15 feet, so a birdie chance coming up for Rory.
Frank, to win this many majors this young is impressive. It's historic. What makes McIlroy so good?
He runs to the beat of a different drum. It's his own rhythm. It's his own style. He's critiqued sometimes. I've done it where, some poor decision making. But in the end, he's naturally aggressive. And that's why we see these sparks of brilliance. That's his way of playing. And to be perfectly honest now, I hope he doesn't change that.
Excellent start, Rory McIlroy. What a nice putt.
I think making putts early in a round is very important. It sets the tone for the day and it gives you some positive momentum early. You see the ball go into the hole and it gives you confidence. You face a downhill putt at a US Open with greens that are as tricky as that, it just makes it even more difficult. I feel like you always face important putts no matter when it is, but obviously they're that much more important when, it's the final round of a major.
Now over to the second. McIlroy with a challenging downhill putt. Frank, I know it's early, but if he drops this could really spark some momentum for the round.
But this putt will be very, very quick. You've got to be careful because the ball can quite easily take off once it gets past the hole.
He can really get red hot with a putter. Let's see what McIlroy does. In. What a way to start this final round. Back-to-back birdies. So second shot here at the fourth, and this one sets up pretty well for McIlroy, doesn't it, Frank?
It's an easy one for him to work out. A little bit uphill, perhaps a club. And with 165 yards playing closer to 170, 175, still a birdie opportunity.
Headed for the bunker? Playing this par 4, still not on the green after that second shot.
But still not done. A good third shot, maybe get away here with par.
Bunker shot coming up now for Rory. How's this part of his game, Frank?
It's certainly improved over the last couple of years, and it really has to, because he plays such an aggressive style of play that you have to accept the miss, just like what we saw in that second shot. It's a good strike, good swing by McIlroy. No problem finding the putting surface.
Is this one for par? And he has it, Frank.
I don't believe it.
There's some times when there might be a wait on a tee box, or you've played your shot and you're waiting on your playing partners to hit their shots, and you just look around and you realize where you are, because you don't really you don't appreciate it that much whenever you're playing, and that's not what you're thinking about. You're thinking about trying to win a golf tournament and not really taking in the beauty of your surroundings.
So McIlroy set to tee off here on the long par 3 ninth hole, appropriately named Olympus for its high perch above the course. Just a stunning view.
And Rich, there's a great view from the front of this tee. You can really get a sense of the elevation change. Big drop off, so consequently you're going to hit a club or two less than you normally would for that yardage. And the green, that shapes a little bit to the player's right, so this one is going to have to be all carry.
Safely aboard. Birdie chance here. Very long putt, though.
Got to be a little careful if it gets away on him.
Very well done. Almost made it.
Yeah, there'll be no stress for the next one.
Getting set now over the putt. Par for McIlroy, but you're just waiting for that moment when he hits that accelerator and pulls away. Now McIlroy is the chaser, looking up at Martin Kaymer, and that is no easy task, playing a U.S. Open and chasing the likes of a Martin Kaymer. Plus, pretty difficult shot coming up here at the 15th.
It's going to require a great flop shot to get the ball up so quickly and get it to stop in such a short space is going to take every bit of skill.
Very nicely done, right on the dance floor.
Rich, you get that feeling if there's going to be a moment, I think that moment is now.
Trying to clean this up, make his par. Good effort and good par putt.
Final few holes to play, especially of a major championship like the US Open. It's what you've worked so hard for. It's what you've put all those hours of practice in for, and this is your moment. This is your moment to see what you've got against the best players in the world and test yourself at the ultimate level. There's obviously a lot of pressure, You know, you don't want to let an opportunity like this pass you by. You don't want to let it slip. So to stay really focused, really concentrated, try to take one shot at a time, try and put the result out of your mind, control what you can control. But saying that, it is difficult with so many things going on around you, whether it be the crowds or it could be the person that you're going up against. You know, there's so many things that you can't control, but you know, the things that you can control, that's what you have to concentrate on, and that's what you have to try and, you know, do to the best of your ability. And if you can do that, that's what gives you the best chance to try and win a huge tournament like the US Open.
Well, you couldn't ask for anything more. We're at the 17th. Tie atop the leaderboard. 2 former US Open champions, 2 holes left to play. This is really one of golf's best moments.
And we're looking at 2 of golf's finest, and this hole isn't going to be about power, Rich. It's going to be about precision. And so aptly, this 17th hole is named Derailed. Somebody just might be derailed on this very hole. There's out of bounds over there.
He needs to get lucky. What was he thinking there? Always found this to be hard, Frank. You're seething, you're just fired up, you just knocked one out of bounds and you have to kind of put it back together.
Yeah, this one better find the fairway.
This will be the 3rd shot after being penalized for going out of bounds.
Oh, this is heading in the wrong direction.
Uh-oh. Well, double par here. Time to pick up and move on. Frank, this has been just a fantastic week, and these last few shots are going to determine the entire championship.
Rich, normally you'd think par on the 72nd hole would be good enough to win a US Open, but this par 5 is certainly reachable by these players. Par, no doubt, will not be good enough. There's a bunker over there.
I think he's headed for it. Be a little disappointed with that because it lands in the rough and it appears to be fairly thick over there. Frank, the great thing about these major championships is the slow build-up to moments just like this, and then it gets really tense.
It's a dream scenario, Rich. You just dream that you're going to have the 2 best players in the game vying it out, coming down to the very last hole. That's exactly what we have right now. So far, they've provided great golf. It's going to take something even better than that right now to determine who's going to win. Good recovery shot. Couldn't make the green, but at least he's back in play.
Played the smart shot right there. So, 3rd shot now for Rory McIlroy. So McIlroy is on the dance floor, but a good ways from the hole. Rory for birdie to put some pressure on Martin Kaymer. So a long putt there and just didn't read it quite right. This is a cross-country special. Well, you're not going to make that putt all the time, but you'd like to at least get it to the hole.
If he keeps putting like that, he's going to be an announcer in no time.
Been pretty good all day from this distance, just trying to take care of business.
Now, as they say, 300-yard drive, one shot, miss a short one, also one shot.
Yeah, that's painful. Clean this up with a tap. The door was open, but Martin Kaymer slammed it shut. Kaymer, the U.S. Open champion yet again. It came down to the final hole. Kaymer really put on a show. This will forever be remembered as one of the best finishes in major championship history.
Lose a lead or you lose a major, or it doesn't quite work out the way you had hoped. At that moment in time, there's obviously a lot of disappointment, but I think that passes and you use that as motivation for the next one. And that's the only way you can view it. You can't feel sorry for yourself, or you can't get down about it, because what's happened's happened. The past is the past and you move on. But you use it as motivation not to let it happen again. My toughest loss was the 2011 Masters, when I had a 4-shot lead going into the final round and completely blew up on the back nine. It was a very tough moment for me. It was very disappointing, but I used that as motivation to say to myself, that's not going to happen again. That's not the player I am. That's not the player I want to be. I used it in a way that 70 days later, I won my first US Open and my first major. So sometimes disappointments can be catalysts for good things to happen in the future, and it's just how you react to it. And I feel like, if you react to your disappointments in the right way, they can be very beneficial.